Good morning, everyone. Took me a few minutes for it to come up in my feed. I don't know why, but it's up and we're all set. I hope you have your beverage of choice on in this wet, snowy, cold day, whatever it is, rainy or snow. I hope it's a warm drink. Hey, Sharon, and that you're ready to do some paper crafting and have some fun. I have a great card for you today. I use the Forever Fern Sweet, and I got to get my stamp set, I forgot that. I created 3 cards. I started with the simple card, then I stepped it up to I guess you'd call it a regular card, and then I took it all the way to a wow. And I have to tell you, the wow's my favorite again today. Sometimes I like the clean and simple the best, but this one, when I put it together, I went, oh yeah, it's the best. Hey Nancy, hey Anita. So I hope you're ready to have some fun. And after you see this, I hope I've inspired you to go find your supplies and be creative today. Get inky. It's so much fun, especially on a cold day when it's rainy or snowy or icy, because I know some people are getting ice to do this. And this bundle, or yeah, I guess you'd say it's sweet, because I did use some of the DSP, is in the annual catalog. So it's going to be around for at least a couple more months, so you can have some fun with it. And I've used it a lot. It's great for masculine cards, but I have used it for feminine cards also. And today I decided to go with some birthday cards. I need to send some birthday cards to a friend who sends out cards for the troops, and she was in need of birthday cards. So I thought, well, this would be a perfect way to do some cards to send to her. I have some already created, but I want to get that box full so I can get it out to her, because she needs a lot, and this will help her. She's going through cancer, so she's treatment, I should say. So she's in need of a little bit of help, and I have no problems doing this. I sent her a bunch of Christmas cards, so this will be perfect for her. Beverly, the new catalog starts in May, I believe. What's on the back of this catalog? That'll tell me. This one goes through May the 3rd. So the next one will start May the 4th. So that's right around the corner as time goes anyway. I had, hey Barb, I had a Facebook memory pop up this morning, and it was a picture of my 2 daughters and myself and my 2 granddaughters, and Remy, who's the youngest, was 1. Michaela had come out for Remy's birthday. I could not believe it's been 5 years. That little nugget's going to be 6 in a couple of days. It's like, holy cow. So I thought, time to make her birthday card, but time passes fast. And then Zoe, who was a little tiny tot, you know, when she moved into my house with me, because they lived with me for a while, she's going to be 10 next month. It's like, oh my gosh, she's almost a teenager. It's like, where has the time gone? So it's, hey Ruth. It just goes by so fast. I don't know if you guys feel the same way or not. All right, I'm going to take one more drink and we're going to get started so I can show you the cards, and then you can go get crafty and inky yourself. I'm also going to move this out of the way because I have turned things over before and ruined my project, so I don't want to do that. All right, let's switch down to the hand view, and there's the clean and simple card. All right, let me see, my thing is shifting just slightly. There we go, that's a little better. All right, so let's get started with the clean and simple card. The first thing we need is a piece of Very Vanilla. Hey Sharon, I decided to go with vanilla this time, ivory, whatever you want to call it, because I usually use white, and I thought, well, let's do something a little different. Hey, Linda. So I'm shaking it up. All right, so I've got my card, and I used two colors of ink. I used Pear Pizzazz and Garden Green, and I got my colors from my DSP. So keep that in mind that you can get your colors from your DSP. All right, and I'm going to put that down there. I used the Forever Fern stamp set, and from it I used this image, and these two images. And my happy birthday came from the Framed for You set. This one did not have a happy birthday, so I went to my Framed for You because it had a small one. So I liked that. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that large image, I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to stamp it right down here in the corner. And I did it again. This one catches the edge for some reason, and I keep forgetting that. I think I'm pressing too hard. All right, then I'm going to switch to my Pear Pizzazz. Hey, Betty Ann. It is icy there, Sharon. I talked to Jess this morning, and she said that they really hadn't gotten anything yet. All right, this is the next largest image, and I'm going to stamp it, and I'm going to stamp it over here like so, and try and hide this mistake. Don't know if it's going to work or not, but we'll give it a try. Then I'm taking one of the small ones, and I'm going to stamp it down here, and then I'm going to take the other small one, and I'm going to stamp it over here. And it's kind of hidden. You don't pay too much attention to that mistake. And now I need my sentiment. And this is going to be tricky because that one is crooked. I have to watch how I stamp it. So let me ink it up. I think I inked it up, and I don't remember how I did it. I don't know if I tried to have it even one way or the other, but I found if I put that bottom edge kind of at a down slope a little bit, it comes out straight. And that's the clean and simple card. Quick, easy. Now you can easily step it up. You can add your sentiment down here if you want, and a ribbon up there, whatever. Well, I don't know if you want a ribbon with a guy. But anyway, you can kind of fix this down here if it bothers you. I don't think it does because I don't pay any attention to that. So there's our clean and simple card. But suppose you want to do a little more. So we're going to step it up. So what I did was, move that over there, I started with a Garden Green card base, and again my colors came from my DSP. Excuse me. And it's just your normal card base. I'm in the US. I don't know where a lot of you are from, but this is just 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. So I'm going to set that aside. Then I'm going to take my piece of vanilla, and what I did was I stamped my images on scraps and used the coordinating dies, Forever Flourishing dies, to cut them out. All right, and I'm just going to take and add them to my card base down here, and I don't want to go too low. I kind of have to judge. I'm just going to lay this here because I want to hide my stems some. And it's just best if I put this on first. Then, hey Susie, I love the spelling of your name. All right, so it's got to come down to about there. All right, so I've added that one. Now the rest of them are fairly easy, so once you get that first placement, you know where to put the rest. I'm going to add that one, and I put it at an angle, like so. And then these two are going to go on. So I'm using the same basic layout, but hey Sarah, I kind of stepped it up a little. All right. I'm going to add some glue. Now, these two curl in different directions. So if you want to add a little bit of interest, think about that. All right. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to add, this is like 3/4 by 4 inches of the DSP, and I'm adding it to a coordinating garden green. And to do this one, it's a little bit of space on the sides, but the ends are even. So if I can get my end on the one side straight, then I can come down and get the rest of it straight. A little bit more down this way. And I like the glue because it gives me that little bit of wiggle room. Hi Colleen, hi Sarah. So I'm going to take and I'm going to add glue to the back of this. All right. And I want this piece on top. So I'm going to pick that up and just kind of slide it under. I probably should have waited on that one. I don't know if I can get it up enough to move it. Let me see. As I make a mess, I should have waited. Okay, I'll just re-glue it down. I'm going to put this down here. And that will be hidden where it ripped off, because you're just going to put this down over top. But I wanted you to be able to see some of it also. So I'm going to stick that underneath and just kind of overlap it. I didn't on this one, and I thought it just added a little bit of interest to, hey Lorraine, hey Marty, to overlap it some. All right, now I'm going to add this to my card base. All right, and I'm using the glue. I like the glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Thanks, Marty. Sometimes I need it and sometimes I don't, but it's nice to have it. Now my sentiment is still the same, garden green. And let's see if I can get this one on straight. Woohoo, I did it! Yay! So there's your stepped up version. All right, and we're going to take it from that to a wow card, and check it out. I love them. Hi, Linda. What I ended up doing was I embossed the background, I put the sentiment on a layer, and I added some gems. So let's put this one together so you have all of the supplies. So I started with the same size vanilla. Thanks, Marty. And it's 4 by 5 1/4. And I embossed it with the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. Now this embossing folder is not part of the suite. The suite in this one has 2 3-inch wide embossing folders, but I wanted something all over, so I went with this one because it's a subtle background. All right, that is going to go onto our card base, and because it's embossed, I always use double-sided tape. I have found when you emboss something, it has hills and valleys, Hey Linda. And what happens is they, if you use glue, it seeps down into the valleys and only the hills have the glue. And sometimes there's not enough surface area for it to really grab on your card base, and it can fall apart. So I just use the double-sided tape, because what happens is the whole piece of tape grabs the card base so it doesn't pull apart. Like if you used snail or something that just doesn't have that stick with it. All right, and I'm going to take my backs off to burnish my ends. Not a good idea. So I'm going to take these off and add this to my card base. And I just thought the colors of this were just so pretty, and I think we needed a little bit of greenery in our lives right now with all the rain and snow we've had. I know a lot of people are looking forward to spring. I just look forward to the days being longer. When it gets dark at 4:30, hi Deborah, I don't like that. So it's like, just give me the longer days. All right, so I took and I did the same thing with my images. I stamped them and cut them out. Now, because they're going to be kind of sandwiched behind that ribbon or that piece of cardstock, I can put this on with glue and it will be fine. It's the bigger panels that aren't good. So I'm going to put that right about there, which means my stem needs to go right about there. All right, and I'm not going to put this one down until I've put this down. This time I'm not going to have to rip it up. But don't you love it? Hi Carol, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. I give you all the tips and the tricks and share my ideas, and then you can go create and have fun and not make the mistakes and waste your paper. I was playing a lot with my online card class, and this one is all about embossing, dry embossing and heat embossing. And I saw this idea for heat embossing, and I loved it. So I thought, well, I'll do that as one of the ideas, because it's a little bit more involved than just plain embossing. Well, I did it, and I did it wrong. But I love what came out. So it's like, I don't know what it is because I've never seen it before. So I came up with a new idea, and it's like, okay, don't know what it is. Now this piece I am going to put on with my tear and tape because it has to grab onto the embossing. But I just thought the idea was fabulous. I'm going to date myself here. I know some of you have heard this, but when I was growing up, my mom sewed my clothes, and she used the feed sacks. The feed sacks we used to get years ago were printed, and they were done specifically because the companies knew that the women used the patterns to make clothes. Hi, Michelle. I'm confused what you're saying, Beverly. But anyway, when I finished it, that's what it reminded me of. So I went, okay. Where's the top? This is the top. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold it back. I'm going to show you a little trick here. If you have a hard time getting your pieces down straight. Usually you do it on both sides. Hey, Linda. Oh, I do too. So what I did was I took the bottom piece off and I only left this one sticking out. And the reason being is it's not stuck down over here. So now I can take and add glue to the back of this piece, stick it in here where I want it, and then I'm going to pull this out, and that's going to move it, but that's okay. I can just stick it back over there, pull it out, get this in here to where I want it, and stick it down and pull it off, and then stick that down. So if you have a hard time like getting your pieces straight, take one corner on each side and fold your tear and tape, double-sided tape back and leave out that little tab like I did. Two corners will not have anything. If you do these two corners and these two corners, these won't. So you line up these two corners straight, hold it in place, pull the others out, and you have it straight. So there's a tip for you on how to get your panels on straight. All right, I then took my sentiment and I stamped it with the same green, and in this case it was garden green. I'm gonna mount it here onto this like so. And then this I'm going to put on with dimensionals. Like so. And I didn't want too many layers because these gems are thicker than most gems, and I didn't want to have to pay extra postage. That's the other thing I look at. I don't want to have to pay extra postage. So now I'm going to add my gems, and our wow card is done. All right, and for it I used a large one. I'm going to add it right about there. And then I took a medium one, and I found it best. These don't want to come off real easy. So I bend the plastic back so that the gem is half off, and then I can take and just pick it up with my pokey tool. Well, thanks, Linda, but you know me, I'm always full of tips and tricks and share them freely. Anything to make your crafting easier. And there it is. Hey, Carol. Oh, thanks. Isn't it, Barb? I loved it. You know, and like I said, the wow is my favorite. And I think it's just, thanks, Ruth. I just think it's the way it turned out. And I mean, if you don't have this, you can use any, love the hearts, guys, thanks. You can use any leaf stamp and dies that you have, and you know, just find some green paper with leaves on it, stems, whatever you want to call it. This looks like it has a bunch of ferns on it. So what I did was I went from clean and simple, and I stepped it up, and then all the way to a wow. So you can see the progression about how I started with the same same layout, basically. The leaves were down here, and my sentiment is up there. And all I did was change it up a little bit. This one I cut the leaves out and added some DSP. This one I embossed the background, popped up my sentiment, and added some gems. Hi, Deborah. Hey, Janice. So some great ideas for how to use your stamps and ink and to have some fun And I think these are great birthday cards to send to my friend for her to send to the troops so that they have, they get a birthday card. Um, so I'm just going to add a piece inside, stamp my envelopes, and then I have it all set, ready to go for my demo friend who can send them to the troops, and she doesn't have to worry about it too much because, with her going through cancer treatment, I don't want her to have to worry about doing this. And she's had a lot of help, so that's been good for her. So I hope you guys will give this a try. It's a great day to get inky with it being cold and snowy or icy or rainy, depending on where you are. Maybe you're sunny. Jealous if you are. We have another day of rain. So, in fact, our whole week looks like it's going to be rain. But that's okay. We'll be wanting that rain in the summer when it's so hot and we don't have anything. All right, I'm going to grab my drink. And I'll switch back to the hand view. Or the face view, rather. And I'm so glad you all joined me today. It was fun sharing my ideas with you. I do this every Saturday morning at 10:30. So I would love to have you join me. I give you different ideas all the time. Oh, Linda, I know that there are a couple of places that are waiting for the ice storm. Yes, Carol, she's been doing it for several years. Her son was in the military also. She's a Navy mom. So she's been doing it for a while. And like I said, she didn't want to stop while she underwent her cancer treatments. And so she just, I sent her a bunch of cards for Christmas. So she had those. And now I'm working on some birthday cards for her so that she'll have some throughout the year so that hopefully she'll be okay. Beverly, I know she'll take any cards she can get. She's not, at this point, they just kind of send them. She has a list. I don't know how many she sends out a month, but she has a list of names that are sent to her that she has to send to. So this way she'll have a bunch of cards to send out. And yes, she is a proud Navy mom. She is. So. And when my son-in-law, or I should say my ex-son-in-law, was in the military, he was in Afghanistan, I used to send cards over there for the guys to send back. There was an organization, Cards for Troops, I think it is, that was sending them, and I've sent to them. So they don't specify some of those, what they need. My friend told me that birthday cards, because she does birthday cards. So that's why I went with the birthday cards. All right, ladies. Wow, good for you, Linda. I'm going to get off of here. I have tons of cards I've got to make today, so it's a perfect day to spend in my studio, playing and having fun. And I hope you do the same. And now, don't forget, Monday, I do a Zoom craft-along at 12 noon. And I post the link in the group or on the page. And if you want to join us, yes, no glitter, that's the thing. We'd love to have you. We all work on our own things. If we have questions, we can ask questions. We had a lovely lady last week, Lisa, and she's a fairly new stamper, so she had lots of questions. And we just answered and helped her out, and she was really excited about it. She can't wait to do it some more. So it's a fun time just to spend with your friends. Oh, you're quite welcome, Beverly. So, okay, ladies, I'm going to clean up here so I can get downstairs and clean up my breakfast dishes, and then I'm coming back upstairs to do some stamping. So I hope you do the same, and I hope I see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye.